Yo, listen, man. Very few names ring bells as well as my man right here. Wow. And he always figures out a way to reinvent himself. And he got one of the hottest podcasts on the streets right now. One time for the homie TPain. What up, G?
He came with his own sound effects.
Yeah,
TPain Radio.
That's great. I love that. That was amazing.
What do we call it? Is this TPain 2.0, 3.0? Because I feel like you've resurrected yourself a few times.
This is unlazy TPain. This is not taking advantage of the pandemic and actually sleeping all the time TPain. I think that's what it is. It's not. There's no reinvention. There's no. I'm not trying to do anything. I just woke up and was like, I should probably record something.
You know what I feel like is really dope about you? And I feel like it's something that I didn't even realize. Like, I've been a fan of you for many, many years, but I didn't realize you were so damn funny. Like, you're one of the most entertaining people, period.
It was kind of, you know what it is? I'm naturally corny as hell.
Not corny.
No, I love being corny. Like it's the people call me corny all the time, and I don't think I know that being corny means you don't think like everybody else. Mm-hmm. You're not the definition of cool because you're not in this group with us, and I pride myself on that. I love being corny. It's the greatest thing in the world to be corny. I embrace it, and I want everybody else to find your corny. And there's also a lot of and get out of them friend groups that call you corny.
There's a lot of spaces to be corny too, which is kind of like you're taking advantage of Twitch and all these spaces. Talk a little bit about how you entered those spaces. Was it just like random or
untapped market? No, I've been on Twitch. I've been on Twitch since 2014.
Wow.
So I've been doing this for a long time, but people finally got a chance to sit down. I mean, that's the case with a ton of things. Like even like shows on Netflix that have been on Netflix for forever are just now getting Emmys because people had a chance to sit down and actually digest these things. But I've been on Twitch since 2014, and since then I've been doing what I do now. It hasn't changed. I've been the same person on Twitch. I'm always the same person on or off camera. I'm just corny TPain. Like I'm fine. Like that's amazing to me. You're telling me that I don't think like the rest of the herd. I'm good.
Does it ruin it for you though? Does it ruin like Twitch for you since you say you've been on there for many years? I know you just said like going viral is not really your goal on things, but I know you recently did a rant that actually went viral from Twitch. So do you now have to watch what you say on there, or is it okay for you?
No. I got on Twitch because when I play video games in my hotel room, when I'm on the road, I'm usually just talking shit to myself.
Okay.
And it helps when you have people watching you, whether it be 2 people, 20 people, 200, 2,000, whether it be any number, you're just not there by yourself playing video games and just yelling out obscenities just at no. So that's the reason I got on there, because the way I found out about Twitch was I did an activation with PlayStation, and then they wanted me to do an interview while we were playing games, and then people watching, and I asked about what was that platform. And they told me about Twitch, and like the next day I hit the Twitch team, was like, I gotta get a channel on this thing. So I was the first rapper. Nah, I'm kidding.
That was about to go viral, possibly. And the thing is, like, what I like about you, TPain, is once you find something that you're passionate about, you run with it. I remember the first time I met you, you discovered the Shone dancers, and you came in the studio and was showing anybody who would listen and pay attention to the nonsense about. So in 2021, TPain, what are you that excited about as you were about the Shone dancers back in 2012 or 10?
That was a long time ago. The word Shone just
the light in TPain's eyes. He's like, yo, you guys have to look at these dances on this LCD TV. That's liquid crystal display. Like, you was excited about that.
Yeah. Man, what am I excited about? I think I'm more, you know what? Just doing self-care and things like that. And just being me. I think I'm more excited about me than I've ever been. I'm more excited about being myself than I've ever been. It's so cool to see that the thing that has been forcibly being hid from the public is such a veil of like, yeah, that he's different as hell. He's actually fun. Like to hear people say, like, Laurel, you know what I'm saying? Like when you say you're actually fun, I'm like, I've been this way since I was born. But it's so corny that managers look at it like, we can't let people see his actual personality. We need to hide this from people. We need to just do videos, stay off social media. Don't let people know that you're this corny.
That's what you were told?
Yeah. I mean, not, in so many words.
Right.
But the fact that I was able to get away from that, because now at this point in my career, I'm fully independent. I have no management. I have no label. I got distribution through Empire believing in the brother. I appreciate it. Shout out to Gazi, Nima, everybody over there. But the fact that I'm able to put my personality out there and people are like, when did this happen? Where's this guy been?
Yeah,
and it's like, I've been like this whole time, and people are just now seeing it, and now I realize all my passions are becoming my turnkey operations. You know what I'm saying? Like drifting, just professionally throwing cars at walls. Nappy Boy Gaming, Nappy Boy Entertainment. I'm signing my own artists now. Now I'm getting to, give people the perks that I wish I had when I was on a label and stuff like that. I'm getting to really bring people on, because when I sign people to my entities, I don't see them as a money grab. I see them as good people that just need eyes. And I use my platform to put eyes on people. It's not I bet I can make $1 million off this person. It's like, no, this person is talented. They're a good person and they need to be seen. And I'm going to use my platform to do that. So it's not, so just to have my personality be out there, I think I'm more excited about me than I've ever been. And this is the most self-care that anyone can do, to be excited about yourself.
Do you feel like that was any setback, like a holdback for you, them telling you to hide your personality? Because I do feel like your personality will bring more people in, and especially with Nappy Boy Radio and you just telling these stories. It's like people are fascinated with your stories. And like I said, it's so funny. So like, do you think if you would have brought your personality out a little bit more before, it would have hindered you at all?
Yeah, I think it would have burned it out. You know what I'm saying? What Crack was saying earlier, like, what do we call this, TPain 2.0? Like, I understand, because it seems like this is a different chapter in my life. But if you guys would have seen this earlier, it would have been like, it would have been normal now. You know what I'm saying? You would have expected it. But the fact that I went through a whole cycle of my career and then got lazy and just was like, I'm probably just not going to do anything anymore. And then was like, now I want to do everything. And now that the personality is out, it's kind of like, it's kind of like a second wind. It's TPain 2.0.
It's true.
It's a different side of it. It's a different angle. It's the, when you see one newscaster talking to the camera and then they turn and say, and also, but like, no, nothing changed. But somehow this is more entertaining this way. So, it's good to bring that out. And yeah, I think it would have been burned out.
I will say another avenue that I really connected with you with, another side of you I saw, was on your television show about like investing in different companies. And I watched this show. I loved it so much because I saw some of the companies I did know about, but a lot of them I didn't. And you trying out the products and talking to the entrepreneurs and giving them a chance to tell their stories, and how they're trying to grow or scale their companies was really cool. Can you speak a little bit to that and just your investment side as well?
Yeah, I got a lot of free shit on that show. No, but I started that show because at one point in my career, I would just wake up and my morning routine was go to see on Twitter if I've been canceled. Then go to Instagram to see if I've been canceled, because I don't be remembering the nights before. I'm not going to remember today. That's already a thing. But the third part of my routine was to go to Kickstarter and see if there's anything cool. You know what I'm saying? And see if there's anything I can invest in and actually help bring into the world. The thing that unlocks our next generation and our next world is funding. So, you know, there's a genius, there's a new Einstein waiting to be seen and heard, but they can't afford to go to college. So they'll never be accepted in society because they could be the smartest person on earth. But if you never went to college, like that's, you know, but that's all funding. The scholarships go to, you know, people we enjoy for our entertainment. They go to, you know, sports and things like that. But the people that are just sitting back being themselves and chilling and are geniuses, they don't get it because they don't have a good enough story. So my when I wake up in the morning, I go to Kickstarter and Indiegogo and things like that. I try to fund projects that seem like they're gonna better our world, and they just lack funding. You know what I'm saying?
What is one that stands out to you? Because I spend a lot of time on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and I always get excited when the package finally comes in from the thing I ordered. You know what I mean? So what has been that thing for you?
I think the first thing that was really intriguing to me was a documentary called The 12 O'Clock Boys. And it was about basically a dirt bike gang in the Baltimore area that, you know, they were basically doing the things you see like Philly dudes doing, you know what I'm saying? All the bike tricks in the road and stuff like that. But it was specifically following this little guy that was, you know, basically if he wasn't doing that, he'd be in a life of crime and stuff like that. So, you know, it's stuff like that I want people to dig into. Like I need people to see that documentary, and I need this documentary to be filmed and to come out because it sheds a different light, and it's not just the vague aspect of they're just creating traffic. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It actually is a deeper thing behind this stuff. So, you know, that like stuff like that I get excited about because it broadens our view, and it actually brings more opportunity for stories to be told. So, you know, and anything like technology driven, anything that's like new tech, you know, LiDAR is coming crazy on everything. So anything that got to do with LiDAR technology, I'm into that. Yeah, just I'm not super picky, but there are certain things I'm like, I need to push this a little bit more. Maybe 2,000 on this one, maybe 500. You know.
So let's talk about your podcast a little bit. So what made you even get into doing this podcast? And you've had all kind of guests like Mike Tyson, Jazzy Faye, DJ Quick. Who's your dream guest to have on there? And again, like I said, what
dream guest to have on my podcast is Andre 3000 for sure.
Oh wow, yeah. Who's
Andre
somebody?
3000, CeeLo, David Banner. I'm getting David Banner pretty soon actually because he owes me one.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, you put him in that top 5 too. I heard that.
Also did his podcast, so he kind of owes me that too.
Who's somebody you don't want on your podcast?
Who do I not want?
How about Akon?
Now, Akon is actually fun. He's a fun person. The only people I don't want on my podcast is people that don't have a sense of humor and that usually answer interview questions with one word. Or, you know, you'll ask, I'm sure you guys have done interviews with people that's like, so what about this? And they're like,
yeah.
All the time.
I'm with it.
No, I'm just not. No, like them kind of people, them kind of artists that don't want to be here and don't want to do interviews. It's mostly rappers that say I'm not a rapper. It's like, yes, you are.
But with the names you mentioned, though, like, I mean, David Banner, that's a given, right? CeeLo Green, it seems like that would be an easy interview to acquire because it's CeeLo Green. Andre 3000, when you reach out to him, what happens?
Do you reach out to him, though?
Or do you just run into him at a weird place with his flute?
Feel like he finds you, or you gotta follow a weird map into a series of caves. You know, I just don't even know how to approach that. It's like, Mr. 3000, would you like to talk about random nonsense?
That's so funny.
That is just so weird because it just seems like certain people would be so in tune with you already that it's just like a no-brainer. And I would imagine with some of these interviews, like, hey, you're already here. You want to work on something? Like,
well,
you kind of get the best of both worlds.
That's where, Laura, when you say where the podcast come from, that's where it came from. When people come over here to work on music,
right,
we end up just having these conversations. And the original name of the podcast was, shit, we should have recorded that.
I like that. I like that.
We end up having these conversations, and at the end of all of them, we're like, did nobody get that on film?
Oh, man.
Nobody's ever going to know how cool we just was for the last 2 hours.
Right.
And we just go. We just get over there. That's the podcast back there. Like that's the podcast back there. So
Right.
it's in the studio. So I'm at the studio right now. This is where we record it. And then after that, we just go over there and like, now we can just talk.
Before the podcast, what was one of those conversations that you were like, dang, we should have taped that? What was one?
Oh man, it was David Banner. It was David Banner. We were just in the studio and he was just, talking to me. David Banner's like my life coach. So, it really kind of, it struck a chord to where I was like, oh, okay, I got to pay some money to get a table or something. I gotta get a microphone.
We just need a table. Microphones. You got the mics already, so you don't need the table. Okay, so David Banner, like I said, was named one of your top 5 and your top 5. And everybody was talking about your top 5 last week. Where would you rank yourself in order of numbers? Because you're an amazing artist, so you got to be on there somewhere.
I'm never good with myself. But now I've been really trying to practice that. I think I got a dope honorable mention. I'll go 6 because those particular artists really inspired me and really made my style. So if I could bunch all those artists up and the different aspects of their career, it would make a TPain. So I think I'd be number 6.
Okay, but let's just put it in this perspective though. If artistry was an Olympic sport, what medal would TPain take in the Olympics?
I'll take a silver. I
know above you.
Andre. Like, the people that made TPain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that actually were a part of me figuring out who I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of gospel on my list. There was like 2 or 3 years where I only listened to country. Like, you know what I'm saying? I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for a year. Like just working on an album, just going to all the bars, hearing the live music and stuff like that. So it's a lot of information and a lot of data that came to make TPain. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm always gonna put that stuff and that data before me because without any of that, we wouldn't be talking right now. So I'm always gonna put that before me because I know the importance of it.
Okay. Now, you were a Versus veteran. You was there early before, before people was doing Versus in person. You was using your own account back then before they had the unified Versus account.
Right.
Would you do it again in the current format in front of a live audience?
No
would
question.
You go against Lil Jon again?
No.
Or would you pick somebody else?
If we do anything, if we want the headlines and we want the clickbait, I'd do it again, but with Akon.
I think it should have been Akon from the beginning.
Yeah, but Akon and I weren't on super great terms.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because that's why I even asked if you didn't want him to be a guest.
No. It wasn't a choice or anything, but because at first I was supposed to go against Scott Storch, and that was just weird. You know what I'm saying? It was just like they was kind of getting whoever they can get at the time, and I was like, this doesn't match. And then they put Scott Storch and Manny Fresh, and then the next one was Lil Jon, and that made sense because we're both clinically insane. So so it made more sense. And we me and Lil Jon always follow each other around, like not on purpose, but we always get booked at the same places for the parties. We bring the party with us, so that made more sense. And then it happened. We had one of the best ones. I mean, up until a couple of nights ago, we had the best one.
Right? Did you and
Akon get back good again? Like, what will it take to get y'all on?
Oh, we're good. We just, it was the regular. He owned my label. Like he was, he was the CEO of who I was signed to. He's always gonna get the shit end of the stick. He's always gonna get if my song doesn't do good, it's obviously your fault kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't on purpose. It's just that he was in that position. That comes with that job. You know what I'm saying? So, we should have been on good terms, but I was an artist. He was a CEO, but he was also an artist. And I was like, everything that's happening bad in my life is your fault. So
and that's
just being an artist.
Who took the first step to speak back? Because I know it was some things said on the internet. So did you reach out or did he?
Oh, we didn't reach out to it. I still haven't talked to him.
Oh,
but I know we're good. But I know we're good. I know we're good.
Okay, you're over it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm over it. He's from New York. Yeah.
We don't get over anything, New Yorkers.
He probably dropped it immediately. No, I mean, it was like a quick thing that, like, if TPain would have got out of the hood, he could have been a bigger artist. And then all I did was post all the pop songs I did. And it was like 16 of them. Be real. Did you help him get his card taken at the gas station? No, I'm joking. That was nah. I mean, Akon's a good dude. Akon is a really good dude. And like I said, it was just the spat of, I'm an artist, you're a CEO, everything is bad, it's your fault. That's just what it is. So, and I understood that once I became the CEO, and I'm like,
same thing happens to you.
Now they hate you.
That does not feel great.
We got to get ready to slide, TPain. But listen, let's just say if music was no longer a thing that you were passionate about, and as you said in your podcast, you had to do something else.
Right.
What would that other thing be?
Porn.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Can I say, TPain, to this day, like, there's very few parties that I remember. Angie, Lo, I went to a party at TPain's house, and it was the weirdest collection of people ever. You know the episode of Good Times when they was trying to get Penny taken away from Bologna, and they just set a bunch of stuff up, and it was a bunch of people like there was like little people there. Mr. Marcus was there. Some other people. It was an ill hodgepodge of people. So the porn thing makes sense.
I want to know your porn, your sex tape. What would it be called? Your first movie?
The oil spill.
Would you perform under the name TPain?
I mean, if we want to roll off the momentum, I'll probably keep that going.
I think it should be P-Pain because you bring.
Oh wow! And on that note,
I did it.
You did a thing.
Wildly inappropriate.
Nice. Very good.
Tune. Yo, TPain, man, much love, bro. Continued success. Nappy Boy Radio is the podcast. Shout out to everybody affiliated with that. I saw you had my girl Vanessa Fraction on there the other day. You're surrounded by dope individuals, man. Yo, keep doing you, baby.
Absolutely. Let's go.
We are the Morning Hustle.